Misty sharing God's blessings, Lord knows she tries.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back to Misty Sharing God's Blessings. We are coming back tonight. This is our fifth episode of the new podcast. So thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't saw the other episodes, hop on over and catch up on those. And if you would like, please like, subscribe, and share my videos. It would really help me with the growth of my channel, and also to maybe help other people that are struggling with mental health or drug addiction or just need some extra encouragement. It's a good place. It's a good place to come. But thanks again for joining me. And the subject tonight we're going to talk about is mental health. And I know that's a really big word and that subject for a lot of people that go through that. I go through that. I have bipolar and I have depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed back in 2000, right after the birth of my youngest daughter. And we'll kind of just talk for a minute and kind of just go back to the beginning of where it all started for me. And maybe you can relate, and maybe you've been through a similar situation, or maybe you're going through things and you don't understand what's going on in your brain, and you just may be really confused at the moment. So we're just gonna sit down and talk as friends and just have a conversation, and hopefully this will help somebody. And if you know someone that it can help, pass it along and maybe they can get some good out of it. So we're gonna kind of go back a little ways to 2000, to the year 2000. That's where I really started noticing that something funny was just really messed up with my head. I started crying a lot for no reason. I started having a lot of panic attacks out of nowhere. My husband would come home and I would just be in the bathroom floor just crying. And I had these two little girls and, going through postpartum. And I really didn't have anyone there to really help me or explain anything. And that's why also this channel is so important to me, because I want to spread awareness for mental health. And, like me, I didn't have someone to really sit down and talk to me and let me know, like, this is probably happening and this is why and all of that. So, anyway, that started happening quite often. Unfortunately, when my husband would come home, I was just in complete disaster. So finally, after that happening so many times, and having, I'm trying to word all this correctly for YouTube, but having a lot of bad thoughts in my mind about not wanting to be here anymore. So yeah, finally after that, it was my first of many times in an ambulance being carried away on a stretcher, with my two kids and my husband standing there, which that itself makes you feel not great. But that was my first trip. Unfortunately, I had to go to the hospital, and from there I went into the first of many psych wards, and that was just really scary. Yeah. Oh, flashbacks. um, that was super scary. So anyway, a little bit hard to talk about. Got done with the first hospital, and there I was diagnosed with bipolar, anxiety, and depression. I was still trying to get an idea of what all this was, and trying to be a new mom and a good wife, and I had married really young, had kids really fast, and it never really slowed down. I was also abusing drugs, which it's not going to make your mental health any better. But they say that sometimes, addiction, when you have mental health problems, you sometimes use the drugs to try to feel better, and it just kind of all runs in together, the drugs and the mental health. And then when you're doing that, it's deteriorating the mental health even worse, when I thought that it was helping me, and it clearly wasn't. I was just an addict, and that's just the truth. So it went on just many more times, like that, in and out the hospital, not wanting to be here, doing that, not wanting to be here, many times. And so I would wind up back in the hospital again, which turned around and back into another psych ward. And so that cycle, I can't even tell you how many times. I really honestly don't remember how many times I have been in and out of a psych ward. And so I would have times where I would be okay, and then I don't know, like, the best way I describe this, and the ones of you that suffer too, I think you will understand, but it's like a black cloud come over your head, and you have this feeling, and you know that it's coming on, you know that you don't really feel like yourself, you feel off. I feel like it's kind of like an outer body experience, like I'm there, my body's here, but my mind is not there, I'm just blank. And I'll get real confused and like really scatterbrained, and then the depression will kick in, and then I'll be really sad, and I'll want to cry over everything, and then that's where the bad thoughts come in of not wanting to be here, and then of course your sleep schedule messes up, and then that's like so bad for me still. There can be days where I just cannot go to bed, and which makes you tired and drains you, and it's awful. So then the anxiety kicks in, and I can't be still. It just got me antsy, and then you'll be manic one minute, then depressed the next, and then it's like you're trying to explain all this to your family, and I know, it's hard on the family, and it's hard on us too, and it's just can be chaotic. They're trying to understand us, we're trying to understand us, we don't even understand. Like, when I get like that, I don't even understand myself, so how can I really expect anybody else to? I don't know, there's been times where my anxiety has been so bad that I'm not even able to drive at times, or when I get depressed, it's like I just go into a shell and I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be around anybody because I don't want them to see me in that shape like that. Because that's, I don't know, I just don't like for people to see me like that. And then, you know, I created this channel because I wanted to help people with mental health and drug addiction recovery and things like that. And as much as I don't like for people to see me like that, I do think that it is very important to be open and honest with you guys and not always just show the good side of things or the happy me or whatever, because it's not always like that. So there is a few videos that I have on here if y'all want to check those out, and if y'all are going through a manic episode or a depressive episode, you can look back on those. I was depressed in those videos. I was having a really hard time in those videos, so trigger warning on those. But I did film that depressive episode live and raw and real, and I think that's the best way to be able to help people and to help yourself, is to be honest with yourself, be honest with other people. And that's what I do when I feel like I'm getting to a point where I can't handle things myself. I'll try as long as I can, and sometimes it's successful, and sometimes I have to ask for help because I don't want to go back into the really bad place. I don't want to be here anymore. Because, you know, on that subject, some people just, I don't know, with me it was like I felt so much pain in my heart, in my body, in my mind, and it was like no matter what I did, I couldn't escape the pain of the depression and the anxiety and everything that was going on in my head. It just was like you just want the pain to stop. It's not necessarily that you're ready to just go right then. You just want the pain to stop. And then when you can't and you feel like you've had enough, it can get very overwhelming. And that's why it's very important, if you get to that point, to reach out and ask for help. There's also a crisis hotline. It's 24 hours. It's 988. You just dial 988 and it will connect you to a mental health crisis hotline, and they can help you from there. They can help talk with you. They can help get you to a hospital. So there's always help out there. So please don't give up. And I know that sometimes it can be so hard and you can be so weak and so tired. But, you know, I pray, I do my Bible studies, I listen to worship music. I work on this channel, which has been a great outlet. Find something that you're really, really passionate about and try to be creative. Try to get all of that out that's so locked up inside, and try to get that out somehow. And that's where, for me, that's where this channel helps. I can be feeling bad and come on here, talk to you guys, and just get everything out, so I'm not locking it in where I'm not hurting me, where I'm not hurting myself. And helping other people, definitely, it brings joy to my life. It brings so much joy to me when you guys watch my videos or leave comments or a like or a share or anything, because I'm hoping that that's going out to help somebody. And I feel like that is my purpose in this world. I think that I went through all of this bad stuff in my life to help other people. I think that I was just meant to have bipolar disorder. I was meant to have depression and anxiety. And God was like, okay, this is what's happening, but I'm gonna give you the strength to get you through it. And He always does. And He has been with me from day one on this channel, guiding me through every video that I make. And I hope that I can go out to whoever God needs it to go out to touch them in a moment of crisis, and in a moment that they may just really need to hear someone. To hear someone say, I understand, and I've been there too. And that sometimes can mean everything in the world, of just knowing that someone else understands me. There's someone else out there like me. They get it. That can change everything. Just always be kind, because, I mean, you never know what someone's going through. There was so many times where I had not been in the best shape and someone had just been completely mean, and it was just like, you know, you never know, and you might just say something and it takes somebody over the edge, because you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what their mind may be going through, or if they've just went through a loss or anything in their life. So just sharing some kindness can go a really long way. But you know, with mental health, you know, for me, it was kind of bound to happen, I guess, because my dad had bipolar, my aunt, my grandparents, all of them had bipolar and depression and anxiety. And so I remember seeing a lot of that kind of odd behavior in my family, now that I look back. And, you know, when I was younger with certain family members, and, you know, of course not understanding it then, but now I look back and I'm like, you know, I get it. And I feel really bad, because I know I was just a kid, but man, it's like they've all passed, unfortunately. Now all of my family has passed. My dad died January 31st of this year, which took a tremendous toll on my mental health. All the way, well, it kind of really still is, but it has lightened up a little bit. But I'm just now really getting back to myself somewhat from that. But I look back at my dad and my aunt, and my heart just hurts for them, because I know now that I'm older and having to deal with all this, just how hard it was on them, and how much pain that they were in. But yeah, it's just difficult. And yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast. But thank you for watching, and if you want to talk or anything, just reach out to me and I will get back to you. If you're just having a hard day and just need someone to talk to, and you're having mental health problems, let me know, and I would be happy to talk with you. If anybody would like to collab with me on the topic of drug addiction or recovery or mental health topics, I would love to collaborate with you. That would be really fun. That was something I haven't done before. that is a goal in my channel that I don't know I'd like to achieve, and it's great to set goals, because you're strong, you're beautiful, you can do this, you've got this. Don't give up on yourself. Be the best that you can be. Do not be too hard on yourself, and reach out for help. And again, the crisis hotline is 988. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for coming to Mitzi Sharing God's Blessings. Thank you for listening. I wish everyone many, many blessings. And we'll come back again next week and talk again. Thanks, guys. Bye.